Thank you so much, Karen, for a lovely startup. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Brock's International Open Day event. This topic of the session is experience.brock, and we will share some very important and inside information about studying and learning at Brock University. My name is Pawandeep Singh, and I'm the Relationship Manager for South Asia, and I'll be your moderator today. And I'm also pleased to introduce today's speaker, Ms. Belina Marcia, in-country recruiter for Africa, and our student ambassador, Mr. Adi. Before I hand over to Belina, there are just a few housekeeping items to cover. So today's session is being recorded and will be available to you after today's event. Guests are also able to ask questions during the session in the Q&A feature. There will be a questions and answer period at the end of today's presentation. Lastly, if you would like to get in touch with us after the presentation, I encourage you to email international@brocku.ca if you are a prospective student, or INTL student at brocku.ca if you are an incoming or current student at Brock. You can also visit our official website at brocku.ca international. I will now pass on to Baldina. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Baldina. Thank you, Pawan, for that amazing introduction. I am an in-country recruiter based in Africa. I'm actually based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm excited to see you all here. Remember that you can also use the Q&A right at the bottom of your screen to send in any questions that you have as we keep going. So I'm just about to share my screen so that we can begin the Experience Brock presentation. I have a background in digital marketing, so I'm very excited to be on here, but I enjoy and I love being a recruiter. Now, I think we start off with just Brock University and what Brock is about. And I want to start off from a point of the kind of questions that I ask myself. I come from a digital marketing background, but before that, I'm one of those applicants who studied out of Nairobi into a different country, and I was always looking for opportunities to study out there. I managed to do so. And before I actually arrived to where I was going to study, some of the questions I had in mind were like, what do I study? And I remember thinking about the degree, and I know a lot of you on here are thinking, what do I study? Where do I go study this? Will I really get work opportunities after? And am I passionate about what I'm going to study? So I'm looking to answer a lot of these questions from a point of having done this before, having been in this kind of situation, being in the exact position that you're in, and having to work through such questions and deciding where to go study. So I want to start off directly with just the idea of Brock. One of the best things about Brock is the location. So when you're thinking about where do I go study, one of the major reasons to come to Brock is where Brock is located. Let me show you more. Brock is located towards the south of Canada, which makes it better, in terms of temperatures. And it's located within the beautiful city of St. Catharines, which is around the Niagara region. And it's about 20 minutes directly from the Niagara Falls, the famous Niagara Falls, 30 minutes from the Buffalo, New York border, that's into the US, and about 60 minutes from Toronto. That's about an hour from Toronto. And what's exciting about it is that you get both feels of the world. You get to study in a very calm, collected, nice area. But if you need to get out and get into a busy city, then you can either go to New York or to Toronto, and you're able to experience that. Now, there are a few reasons why international students decide to come to Brock. And I believe one of the major ones is that Brock has career-driven programming in terms of the studies themselves. And I need to explain this. Over 40 of the programs, 40 plus programs offered at Brock, undergraduate programs, are usually with the co-op option. And let me explain this. Co-op is the ability to have a paid internship within your course. So as you study, you spend a full year actually practicing what you study. Now, this can give you two major advantages. One, you get to test drive what you're studying and see if you really love it in the job market, in what you're doing, and what specific area you actually really like. The second one would be that you get to network. You get to find out exactly where you want to be, how you want to do it, and who you'd like to work with as you keep going. You come out of Brock and you're saying, listen, I've got over a year of experience in terms of the area. Now, of the programs that are not offered with COP, we also have what you call experiential learning. And experiential learning is exciting because the ability to be able to test out your program. I mean that even if you're not going out to do paid internships, you can actually go for unpaid internships. Your coursework is done in the field, meaning by the time you're finished with your studies, you've actually studied what you like. You've actually gotten a chance to get into the market and experience the market and seeing how you'd be able to apply yourself in that area. Now, because of this kind of programming, is that because of this specific way of learning, we have a 96.5% employability rate, which is exciting. I remember this was a major question for me when I started and I was studying in uni. I kept asking myself, will I be marketable in the market? Will I actually be able to get the kind of job I'm looking for, the kind of opportunities I'm looking for? So this kind of learning, the experiential learning, the co-op option, it allows for this very, very, very well. Now, I must mention that we do have, and I'm missing one of those on my slides, that we do have affordable living at Brock. This is an area that is very exciting, that you'll find a one-bedroom apartment in St. Catharines could be about 67% less expensive than one in Toronto, which is exciting. I figure that a lot of the times when you come into uni, you also want to be able to keep a lot of your money to be able to do other things, not only being able to just pay rent, but do many other things and experience your university life. One major one that is missing right there is the ability to be able to have student support. And I must mention this, that when I first moved from Kenya to a different country to go study, one of the major things I was warned about was homesickness. And I'll mention this very evidently because this was not something I was expecting. Actually, my mom was really keen to point it out. And when I went to study out there and I managed to get out there, I realized that homesickness comes from a lot of things, including transition. I'm not saying every student gets it, but at Brock, we have some of the best counselors who can be able to help you walk through this and get through this really, really well. So that's exciting and very, very nice right there. Personalized international student support, really well. So let's talk about the kind of uni that we have. Over 19,000 Brock students. Of those, 13% are international students. Now, what is exciting about this? We're talking about one faculty member to 30 students, meaning you actually have access to your lecturer, which is really, really, really exciting. We do have a number of programs at Brock, and the programs are pretty exciting. I want to just mention some of them. Of course, I can't go through all 70 of them today, but just in case you want to learn more about them, I'll be talking about this, and I believe all of us will be talking about this. You can actually book a session with a one-on-one recruiter and be able to learn more about the programs that we have at Brock. Now, I want to mention some of the ones that we have running at Brock. We have courses that are very, very competitive. We're talking about biotechnology, biochemistry, psychology, nursing. These are really competitive courses at Brock, and all of them are actually offered in the co-op option, meaning you actually get a year to actually practice what you're learning in there, which is really, really exciting. We also have courses that I'd call a little outside the box, because a lot of the students and myself, when I was coming out of Africa to go study, I didn't think about them, but now they're doing really, really well in the market at the moment. We're talking about things like game design, game programming that are doing really, really well. And you're able to get practice from that through experiential learning. We have computer science, and computer science is exciting because it's offered in 5 different forms, which means that it actually gives you a different kind of edge. You'd be in the market and you're like, okay, I can do computing and business, and because of computing and business, now we can talk about digital marketing. So it sets you apart really, really well. You can actually do computer science, you can do computer science and mathematics, computing and network communications. We do have a number of this computer science, 5 of them to be specific, and you choose the one that appeals to you. So I always say it's really important to be able to check and to be able to see how well you're doing and which specific one you want to actually go into. We have our MBA as we offer, we have public health, we have different kind of programs in 7 different academic faculties. If you want to learn more again, please, you can reach out to us through Coffee with a Recruiter, and we'll be able to tell you more about the programs that we have that are out there. Now, I must mention this, that as Brock, we've had a number of rankings that are pretty brilliant. One of them, we actually ranked #1 in terms of mental health services. And this is something really personal to me, as I've spoken about my experience from moving from my country to study somewhere else. And the second thing is that we actually ranked top 3 in Canada for overall student satisfaction. That means we take it really seriously, how you feel, how you are, who you are as a person at Brock, and we're keen to make sure that we're able to enhance this and grow this. Now, talking a little bit about the co-op option of the programs that we have, 80% of employers out there say that co-op students are potential employees. And this is from the employers themselves. Can you imagine that? Usually, when you're having the co-op program, you usually paid between $18 to about 23 Canadian dollars per hour. This is above average wage, which is exciting. So it's a paid internship whilst you're doing the co-op programs. 40 plus of them are being offered that way. And as I've mentioned, it's usually a 12-month minimum of relevant work experience. Now, talking about the kind of companies that we've partnered with to be able to offer this co-op options, we've had students who work with Pepsi, we've had students work with GM. Imagine being a psychologist, studying psychology and interning in the marketing department of Coca-Cola, or being an accountant, an accounting student, and interning in the accounting department of Ford. It's possible to be able to do so. We have the connections, we have the connectivity, and it's done in such a brilliant way. I want to just show you what a sample schedule of a co-op program, a person taking the co-op option would look like. So the first year, of course, is spent within class. And then within the second year, we begin the professional preparation course. Now, in here, you're not only advised and taught about how to come up with your CV. We're talking about how to interview. We're talking about what kind of questions to ask, what kind of company to look for, and we're able to connect you really, really well. So it's quite exciting. So the professional preparation course usually starts during second year. A lot of students opt that by the time they get to spring of the second year, they begin their first work term, or you can begin within your third year. And most students opt, when they opt to do it within the second year, then they finish within the good period of about 4 years. If not, then there's an extra semester that they do within their 5th year. So the program works really, really well. As I said, 12 months of relevant work experience. So talking about the student life, and I think I'll be engaging Aditya very, very soon. Aditya, get ready. This is an area you are really good at. Talking about the student life of students, people come to Niagara and people come to Brock University. Now, talking about the student life, we're talking about residence. Now, residence is quite exciting because we have 3 types of residence on campus. We have what we call the traditional style. Now, what this would look like, as you can see from my picture, is 2 beds and you all share bathrooms. I remember when I first moved to a different country, this was one exciting way of being able to stay, because I made one of my long-term friends all the way from China, and we met through such a setting. And because of day in, day out kind of association, we built such a relationship that is ongoing up to now. We also have semi-suit. So during my second year, we actually moved to the semi-suit. A lot of students that we see at Brock come in within their first year, they're able to make friends, and they opt for off-campus living right off after first year, which is cool as well. So as semi-suit, what happens, this is still on campus. You get 2 separate rooms that share a bathroom, which is quite exciting. And you can also have the town style kind of living. In this kind of living, you find that each of you have their own bedroom and bathroom, but you also share like common spaces. We're talking about the dining room, we're talking about the wash area, we're talking about the sitting room, and you're able to just enjoy yourself. We have different ranges in terms of the payments, in terms of the different kind of accommodation. And for more information, we'll be talking about it very, very seriously. Also, you can actually contact us to learn more about accommodation and residence. We did have a deadline for residents, especially for applicants who are coming in September. So the deadline was June 1st. And this is usually a deadline that is set. For winter, we'll be having a deadline come up. And as soon as it's out, we'll be knowing exactly when to issue it. Now, we have off-campus living. Now, off-campus living, we do have sessions being held right now by our BIS team that is very keen to be able to offer information about what to look for when you're looking for where to stay, what to look for when you're looking for a landlord and how much you're paying, and exactly the kind of advice that you need when you're moving or relocating. So if you need more information, you'll be able to access this information through our BIS team, and I'll be showing you how to be able to access them very, very well. Now, do we have Aditya on here? Aditya, are you on here?
Yes, I am. Hello, guys.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I think I saw a video that you did about campus living, off campus living just recently, right?
Yes, I did. It was like a series of videos talking about how students can find houses off campus.
Oh, that's exciting. You are a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to ask, when you first came to Brock, did you stay on campus when you first came to Brock?
Yes, I actually stayed in the village residence. It's one of the
Uh-huh.
townhouse type houses. So it's with the personal like common spaces and a kitchen.
Oh, wow. And how long were you in village for?
It was about a year, but that's when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. So I had to move out a bit early. So for
Oh,
about
wow.
7 months, I would say, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. And now you're living off campus.
Correct.
Oh, okay, that's exciting. That's really, really, really exciting. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about a few details about on-campus living, off-campus living, just a little bit, just to give the applicants on here an insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So you said you used to live on the townhouse kind of living. Was there a meal plan? What does that look like when you're living on townhouse? What did you like most about it?
Yeah, so personally, I wasn't much of a chef in my first year. So even though I had a kitchen, it was
Uh-huh.
underutilized in my opinion, from what I did at least. So that's when
Uh-huh.
the meal plan really helped me out. But in case, I felt like I want to cook something from back home, that's when I took
Mm-hmm.
advantage of the kitchen in the house. And, I would make some like dishes that my parents would make when I was back home. So in that way, it's very flexible. So if you don't feel comfortable or if you got too satiated by eating only like the campus meals, feel free to get some groceries and you can cook yourself. So in that manner, I like that I could have the best of both
Both.
essentially. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
I like that.
yeah, definitely. And also like with the meal plan, it's
Mm.
again very flexible. So you can get different types of meals. If you're vegan, vegetarian, there are many options. So it's really hard to find something you get tired of.
Okay, question. What was your favorite restaurant when you're in the meal plan?
Definitely the Lowenberger Cafe, which is like
Oh,
it
wow.
was uh, I think
Uh-huh.
I had 8 a.m.s, like in my first year, I had 8 a.m.s every day. So I have to
Uh-huh.
wake up like 10 minutes before, just run over to Lowenberg Cafe, which is like 2 minutes from my house, grab something like a muffin or a donut or something like that, and then just go to the
Mm-hmm.
class immediately. So it was very convenient.
Very convenient. So the meal plan, you'd advise a student coming in for the first time to actually be on campus and then work towards living off campus, ideally.
Definitely. It also helps with the transition because, you don't feel like you've been exposed with too much, right? You have time to like set in, try out,
Uh-huh.
learn how to cook in the first year if you get a townhouse style residence. So I definitely recommend being on campus in your first year and get a meal plan.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I'll be engaging you in a few, but thank you. Thank you so much for offering some insight towards the home style living. Thank you so much. Now, talking about the different scholarships that we have at Brock, we do have what we call automatic scholarships, which are offered based on your academics. And these include the Brock Scholars Award, the Emerging Market Award, International Curriculum Award, this which is based on the curriculum that you have. And we also have what Aditya actually qualified for, which is the International Student Ambassador Award. So we have what we call automatic scholarships, and then there's which are offered just by you being able to just apply. So within your portal, once you begin your application, inside there's what we call the One App. Now, if you click on the One App link, you're able to fill it in, and as Brock, what we do is One App stands for just one application. We look through everything that you might be able to qualify for and pick you for those ones. And you're able to get those scholarships automatically. Now, for the Student Ambassador Awards and the other kind of scholarships, these ones you have to apply separately. And I'm sure, Aditya, you applied for your International Student Ambassador Award separately. How far back was this, by the way? When did
So
you
I,
first apply for this?
yeah, actually I applied even before I entered my first year. That's
Oh,
after
wow.
I got my offer, I thought I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately I
Uh-huh.
didn't get it the first time around, but after I completed my first year, that's when I
Uh-huh.
applied again. And lo and behold, I got it. It's been an absolutely amazing experience. And in terms of the application itself, I believe
Mm-hmm.
it's a bunch of questions that you can answer like in an essay format perhaps, and also make
Mhm.
a video, explaining why you'd be an amazing ambassador.
Why you'd be able to present Brock at its best. So what would you advise an applicant who's on here who's thinking, I definitely want to apply for that scholarship?
The first thing is, you have to like really love Brock. It That'll help you like, answer most of the questions immediately, but also it's being involved in the community. It gives you an idea of type of people you're presenting, and it gives you more passion with what you want to do. So definitely being involved in my first year helped a lot when it came
Yes.
to applying for the scholarship.
So what I'm understanding is that if you miss it the first time round, you can actually apply within your second year or your third year to be able to get the scholarship. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. That's really, really cool. So just in case someone is coming on board and maybe they're coming in during fall and they're thinking of applying for scholarship, this is definitely a scholarship that is open. So get your applications out there. Remember, you use your student portal, look for the one app and get your application in. So how much would it cost to come to Brock? And I want to just mention some of the figures. Kindly note that these figures are usually annual kind of figures, meaning for the full year. So if you want to know how much you're paying per semester, then you'd have to take that and divide it up. So as tuition, we're talking about between 29,300 Canadian dollars all the way to about 31,000 Canadian dollars. And that's tuition for a full year. And then we have the mandatory auxiliary fees. Now, the auxiliary fees are mandatory because they offer a lot of things. One, they are very good because within these fees, we include the fees for your health insurance, which is really important, especially during this COVID times. There's a bus pass in there. There's a gym pass, I believe, and there's just access within campus, which is really, really exciting. We have on-campus residence. So if you're choosing to live on campus, it works really, really well. And then your textbooks and just any extras that are in there. So ideally, we're looking at between 45,000 Canadian dollars all the way to about 48,000 Canadian dollars. Now, what I'll mention is this. Kindly note the Canadian dollars ideally out there is usually slightly cheaper than the American dollars. So when you're doing your translations, you're able to see exactly how it works. One more time, this is for a full year. And this is if you opt to live on campus. If you opt to live off campus, it might be slightly lower, but that one would be dependent on where you choose to live. Talking about English exemptions, as you come to Brock, if you've been studying in a school where you've been taught in English for more than 3 years, you can ask to be exempted from the English placement. However, this is only to Brock. In terms of study permit application, that is something different. So you'd have to actually be able to access that kind of information. Now, talking about countries where you're not exempt from the English course, then we do have different kinds of tests that you can take. I can see the IELTS here. The minimum score is about a 6.5, which is really exciting. And we have different, right now, we've just introduced the Duolingo, which will be running it for the full year, actually. So you can actually take the Duolingo online test and you're able to see. Now, for the Duolingo, we're looking at a 110 score for you to be able to come to Brock and to be able to get an unconditional offer. So just in case you have a conditional offer, but you're looking towards coming to study English within Brock, the IELP, then you can start at different levels depending on how well you did either in your TOEFL or your IELTS or your Duolingo exams. So be able to look into that and you'll be able to know exactly how to go about it completely. Now, I must say this, that for you to be able to engage with Brock, one of the major things that you can do as someone who's coming into Brock, looking into Brock, starting to apply to Brock, is that you can actually engage with us through experiencebu.brockq.ca. Now, here we have all the sessions. This is where I managed to see Aditya being able to speak about off-campus living. And I think it was a series of videos that were very, very exciting. Here, you can also actually become part of a team. If you look at the organizations, you can actually become part of different kind of clubs. Aditya, are you in any club at the moment, by the way?
Yes, I am. I'm also in process of making my own club, so it's
Oh, wow.
both
That's
sides of
exciting.
the line.
So
Yeah.
what club are you in?
So I'm currently in a bunch of clubs. So my favorite being the Faculty of Math and Science Council. Then there's
Wow.
also the Tamil Student Association, the Indian
Mm-hmm.
Student Association, the Stem Cell Club, and the
Wow.
club I'm planning on making or like in the process of making is called Brock's Green Team, where it's a environmental advocacy club. So
Wow.
raising awareness for the issues that, affect the Brock community in our world.
Why would you advise a student coming on board, like coming to Brock, to join a club? Why would someone want to join a club at Brock?
So there are many reasons why you should join a club. I highly recommend it because number one, if you're a first year student, it's a great way to meet people that have similar interests. So to make
Mm.
friends, build a network, that's a great start. And secondly, if you want to take up an exec position, it also helps you prepare for like the real world by helping you with your time management, any professional skills when it comes to negotiating, running meetings.
Oh,
It's
wow.
also a lot of life skills, right? So in terms of being patient, even like process of learning, it improves like many aspects of like your student life, in my opinion.
I like that. Have you made any friends, would you say, from the clubs that you joined, you've been part of?
Definitely, yeah. It's and the best part is too, like you're not limited to just like one community. The more clubs you join, the more people you're exposed to, and more friends you can make. So I'm happy to say that I have friends from like really all walks of life, just because I'm involved in different clubs.
Wow, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Thank you for that. So just in case you want to learn more about everything, actually, you can actually scan the code and be able to book an appointment with us. You can have a one-on-one session with a recruiter from your place and from where you're from. And you can also have booking and a meeting with an ambassador. So just in case you wanted to meet Aditya individually, you can actually be able to access him and be able to book a session with him as well. So you can book a coffee with a recruiter or book a coffee with an ambassador, and you're able to get in within the session itself really, really well. So scan the code and you'll be able to see. So that is me for now. I wanted to just ask Aditya, as we come towards the end of this possibly, what are you studying? What are you looking at? Where are you from? What are you studying? I'm sure I didn't start from there, but I think it's good you give a general idea to the applicants who are on here.
Definitely. So, hello, my name is Aditya. I'm Indian, but I'm currently talking to you guys from Nigeria. So, I'm kind of all over the world here, but I'm entering my third year. I'm a biochemistry major, and some of the goals that I want to pursue is working like in the veterinarian field. It's one of the passions I have, working with animals, or even like in the lab, for example. So, yeah, and I think Brock's helped a lot with that, especially by different labs and projects you can take up with professors. It really helps, not to mention the involvement you can get from the co-op side as well. So I highly recommend using like the sources available at Brock.
To be able to experience Brock at its best, definitely. So you're currently in Nigeria. So have you experienced any online learning, online studies?
Yeah, so last year when the entire year was online, I spent the first semester in Nigeria. And well, when it comes to online school, it wasn't my first time around. So I had my fears of like even the like just expectations of online school. And one thing I
Mhm.
was worried about is being left behind because I was in a different time zone, right? But
Oh,
amazing enough, Brock was very flexible when it came to online learning, especially with professors. They understood that not every single student was in Canada, so they would have like a wide range of office hours. So no matter what time zone you're in, you'd be able to ask them questions, be in class, and even if you weren't able to meet those hours for like the office hours, you could send him an email and book a different time and date. So in a way, very flexible and accommodating for international students.
that's exciting. So one last thing, what are you looking forward to seeing or experiencing when you're back at Brock?
It's so many things really, like from games being played at Brock, the Steel Blade homecoming game, to even just being a library and working with friends. It's many things. So not a single answer, but
But
it's
I
just
like
being
that. I
back in
like that.
person in the community.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting. I think that's it for us. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya, for being on here and just answering some of the questions as we keep going. I want to welcome back Pawan as he closes this session for us.
Thank you so much, Beldina and Adi, for this wonderful presentation. Although, Beldina, I have few of the questions for you, if you could answer it. So I just want to read out for you that. So we have one of the
Yes.
Yes.
students asking that I'm currently residing in Ethiopia. How may I apply for
Yes.
Brock?
Oh, you're actually applying to Brock is just being able to access our programs and beginning your application really well. What is exciting is that you can book in a session and we can go through the application itself and how to apply for everything, including your studies, your scholarships and everything, and walk you through the portal. So you can apply to Brock. How you do that is just you go to www.brocku.ca and then just /apply, and you'll be able to just apply directly to Brock. Please get to know what program you want to study as well, so that you can just apply directly into the program that you want to apply to. And you can definitely book in a session with me because I take care of Africa. So you can definitely book in a session with me and I'll be able to walk you through it completely through Coffee with a Recruiter.
Thank you, Balina. Another question we do have, do I need to pay for application?
Yes, we do have an application fees for any student who's applying to come to Brock. So it's important for you to know whether you're applying using OUAC, which usually is an application for summer, or you're applying using direct link to Brock University. So we do have an application fees and it will be available. I should be able to put it down how much exactly it is and for the different sessions. Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Belina, again for this lovely presentation. And everyone, this concludes today's presentation. Please remember, if you have any further questions, you can email us on international@brocku.ca if you are a prospective student, or INTL students at brocku.ca if you are an upcoming or current Brock students. Also in the running series of presentation, guys, please join us for the next session on international student support if you want to know more about our services for international students. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.